And this here is our side house vegetable garden that has been changing over the years. And this year, I feel like it's really optimal, probably first time since we've been gardening here, which will be now 12 years. So it continues changing, and it takes time and to gather resources as well and to make it better every year. We don't have to do it all at once. Like when I started, this was just a plot of dirt, and there was no bricks, there was no I did not have the gardening structure, I didn't have beautiful stones. That came in later. So when you put energy and love to your garden, it can be a project that grows with you, with the family, and everybody can benefit from it. But this is just two paths. And last year, my husband put on the bricks so that I can go in between. And we prepared this for the planting season. Right now, it's May 1st. So we still have 20, 23 days officially until the first day when I can plant my heat-loving plants. So we prepared the beds, and we put the compost, and we put the composted manure on top. That's why there's this black stuff. I'm sure the weeds will come through very soon, but right now it looks really clean, so I thought it'd be a good time to show for the video. But there is some stuff already growing from last year, and this is what I wanted to share with you. What grows really well in my garden. So the lovage plant is one of the little treasures that we discovered recently, thanks to my mother-in-law. She's been putting it in soups, and she has a huge bush also on the side of her house. And I've been asking her for cuttings, and she was giving me the cuttings, and no, not the cuttings, but actually they were rooted parts of the plant that she would separate from the mother plant. And somehow they never took until last year. I think it was our third try, and she gave me the plant, and we put it in, and it just took off. So I was kind of like lukewarm towards the taste, and until I started to eat it fresh. And me and my son were just enjoying it so much that we would come every day and pick few leaves from the plant. It's absolutely phenomenal. In the early spring, when we are coming from that long winter, slippery kind of sleepy, sorry, and sluggish energy, this vibrant taste of lovage wakes up our taste buds, and it really like gives this boost of energy, the fresh energy. So I find it in the early spring, I especially love my garden. I do love it all year long, especially in the summer. But in the spring, when there's anything I can eat, it's such a benefit because it's fresh, it's not sprayed, it's vibrant. You pick it up, and it has all that juices, all that freshness of water that's still retained in the leaf, versus when we pick it up in the store, it already has been picked up, so obviously it's not as fresh, and it's a huge difference that it makes. So the lovage plant is growing here, and there's also some parsley that survived the Ontario winter. So there's 3 parsley plants that I planted last year, and this is what happens with the parsley. It's a biannual, so you can plant it, you can harvest it in the fall, and if you leave the root ball, you're gonna get new growth in the next year, but not for long. You're gonna get it probably in early spring, and then once it starts to warm up, it's gonna go to seed. If it's not GMO plant, it will go to seed, and the seeds you can actually pick them up, or you can let them scatter, and then you'll have a whole new batch of parsley the next year. So with any biannual vegetable, we want to leave it over the winter, if it's possible to overwinter it, so that we can next year allow it to seed, and then we can actually have infinite supply of the biannual vegetables. That happens with the parsley for me. That happens with the kale as well, and the carrots. So right now, this bed will be actually used this year for growing the cucurbits family vegetables. So here will be the squash, the cucumbers, and the zucchini. So I'm trying to keep them all together because they're the same kind. And I'm probably going to have some companion planting flowers with them. Nasturtium flowers are great companion plants for cucumbers, so that they can benefit from each other's company. There's lots to share about the cucumbers, but this is all for now. And here you can also see the little green onions. Those are Welsh onions or bunching onions that I was generously gifted by a friend from a Facebook gardening group. And they also survived the winter and they came up. But last year they went to seed, and I've harvested tons of seeds from them. And I started them indoors in the beginning of April, and now they're ready to be put in the ground. So I'm going to have a lot of Welsh onions, which is a perennial vegetable. So another amazing vegetable to have in your garden if you like green onions, because you can just leave it and it's going to keep coming back. Those kind of vegetables are, like, I find the best for busy lives because they don't really require a lot of effort from us. And here we have little oregano. It's coming. This is a boxwood that I'm growing as a future bonsai. It's also a boxwood. And then there is some onions that were left, I guess, in the ground last year when we harvested. So we don't know what's going to happen with those, if they're going to be onions or green onions. But for now, they're growing. And this bed I'm designating this year for growing leeks, which is a new project. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how the leeks will grow in here. Oh, hey. Oh, I was just talking about the lovage. Are you here for the lovage? Nice. What are you making with the lovage? What?
The eggs.
The eggs.
Yes.
Nice. Enjoy. So here I wanted to show you another cool thing about this garden is that it is very easily accessible to the rainwater, because I have the gutter right here and I put the bucket, and then the bucket gets filled up and I can go in and fill my watering can. So right now I'm not going to water because everything is pretty wet. We had the rain for the last 3 days and there's more coming today. But I just love coming here and walking and filling up my watering can and watering my plants, my bonsai trees, and my garden as well. And of course, the buckets are only a temporary solution because it's early spring or later in the summer when there is no bugs that I can use the open buckets. Otherwise, I have to cover them because if I don't, then the mosquitoes come and they lay eggs in the water, and that ends up with having a lot of mosquito larvae that's just crawling in the water. And personally, it makes me feel really bad taking them out and dumping it in the ground. I feel like I'm responsible for their lives then. So I don't do that. And then I let them just, leave the water. And then unfortunately, it then means that we have lots of mosquitoes. So to avoid that, this year, we're going to try to put the rain barrel. We have a rain barrel that we got from the city years ago, but it has a crack on the bottom. My husband said he can fix it. I hope he can. And that way we won't have to worry about the mosquito larvae in the water and actually capture more water and have it protected. So yeah, that, those things, like every year there's little things that we add on to the garden or we find out. But this year I'm really enjoying what we did last year, which is the little path and the walk that I take daily from the water, the bucket, through my vegetable garden, and then I can look at it and just be in the middle of it at the same time. So it's pretty cool.